Jesus is the second Tower of Babel. In Hebrew, Babel means gate of God. Matthew chapter 7 describes the narrow gate to get into heaven. The narrow gate is Jesus. Jesus says he is the vine and we are the branches, and if we abide in him, we bear fruit. Bearing fruit is tree talk for baptism or being born again. They are the same thing. An example of that salvation is Jeremiah 17:13 calls the Lord a living spring of water. It likens the Lord unto a well of water. Genesis 30:37 starts with Jacob throwing 3 rods into water troughs, which result in a fruitful flock. John 15:5 says that we are the branches. We are the 3 branches that Jacob threw in the water troughs, equaling Jesus, resulting in the salvation of a fruitful flock. The branches abide in the vine, and Jacob's rods abided in the troughs. Jesus is the vine and a well. When we, the branches, abide in Jesus, we produce fruit like Jacob's rods produced a fruitful flock. We cannot produce fruit apart from Jesus, and we only produce fruit by being inside of Jesus. We only produce fruit by abiding in Jesus, not of our own effort, us in him and him in us. A vineyard watchtower is like God's Tower of Babel. From the top of a vineyard watchtower, a watchman who is like a sheep shepherd but for grapes would look out over the vineyard to make sure that nothing would spoil the vine. At the time of harvest, the vine's fruit, the grapes, would be stored inside a cool place inside the watchtower, making the watchtower like an ark that preserved grapes. John 15:5, Jesus calls himself the vine, he calls us the branches, and then when we abide in him and he abides in us, we become the fruit that Jesus bears. We become the fruit of heaven. When we are saved, our salvation makes us the fruit of the kingdom of God. And in an actual vineyard, grapes would be gathered and put into the vineyard tower. That vineyard tower almost becomes like a well pointed into the sky that will take the currency of heaven, which is us, God's grapes, into heaven as the wine of the new covenant.